it's different when you actually are in place.
You can read all the books you want, see all the pictures you want, but you're not going to get the actual experience until you come down here. I wanted to fill in a lot of the blanks that my father didn't provide because he was too young or just didn't want to talk to me about the events that happened.
You know, that's what it's about, to tell your stories so that the healing can really get on its way. It's a feeling, you can smell it, you can breathe it.
And you're sharing it with other people that want to experience the same thing.
A date which will live in infamy. The United States of America was suddenly and deliberately attacked by naval and air forces of the Empire of Japan.
120,000 persons of Japanese ancestry were transported to an assembly center where they lived for months, eventually being transferred to one of 10 relocation centers.
For me, it was coming down here and just experiencing with sights and sounds and just your senses of what it's really like down here.
Can you imagine when they didn't have any coal, they came out and got this stuff?
Yeah, that's true. When they're late on the shipment.
Well, for me, it was really important that another member of my family have this experience that I did. And Spencer's the one that said, I'm going to go. And I was just thrilled that somebody else would know what I experienced when I was here.
I felt more of a connection actually being on the grounds and seeing the markers and the buildings my dad and my aunt and my grandfather and grandmother would have passed, that I'm passing that same path. So I can take that experience and show my son and my grandson. If my father was willing to talk about it, you know, try to extract that information from him, it's kind of difficult, but if I had my son there, then it's a little bit easier so he can kind of channel that towards my son, because I know some things, but my son doesn't know. And coming from my father is a lot better than coming from me. Family is very important to me, and to share that experience with her and get more knowledge from her and answers that I couldn't get from my dad.
I have your father and me on the railing of one of the barracks. This is, as he mentioned, really a community because of our shared experience, and that it seemed like we instantly connected, and I felt I could trust other people with my stories because they had similar stories to mine. And so for me, it was a real sense of belonging and feeling welcomed, and I know that these are people that surrounded my parents when they were here in the camp. And that's probably why they, did as well as they did, because they had loving people around them who were helping them as well. A photographer with one of the newspapers saw us there, and he took the photo, and my uncle tracked him down so that and that's the only picture I have of my mom and I. I have a little doll that my mother made out of elastic and beads, and she stuck it all together for a little doll for me to play with. Yeah, so I'm gonna.
Did she die in camp?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Oh, what the reason?
Yeah, appendicitis.
Oh.
She got an infection from a ruptured appendix.
In camp?
In camp.
And so, how old were you at the time?
I was 1, and she was 35.
Oh.
Yeah. I really had a real sense of place, and that it was almost a sacred place because she was here. And I finally understood what the last 3 years of her life were like. And I could really appreciate that she had to love me a lot to get me through those first years, that first year, because now I know we lost so many babies, and she herself lost her life. For me, I've never been able to let my mother go because I was holding on to trying to figure out who she was and searching for that. And coming here began the healing process and being able to let my mother go, because I felt like her spirit was around me, and that was all I really needed. And so this trip, I really felt like, this was really the healing process at work. And to have Spencer join me was just so exciting, because then he would understand what makes his aunt work. And that, this was something he would really understand now because of what it meant to me, to have that connection with my mom for the first time in my life. And I had waited way too long to have this experience. So when I finally came, I was 72 years old. And it was like, oh my God, I should have done this 100 years ago, so that I could have made this connection with my mom much sooner and be at peace with her death.
I asked my father if he wanted to come and experience the pilgrimage, and he was shaking his head no, and sorry. I just wanted to share this experience with me because I wish he'd come with me.
This was a very emotional journey for me, and I still have as you can tell, I have a very hard time talking about it. But I'm more at peace with my family and what had happened to them during the incarceration than I was before I came here. That's what it's about, to tell your stories so that the healing can really get on its way. And I think that's what it did for me. You can read all the books, you can look at all the videos and stuff that you want, but it's different when you actually are in place. It's a feeling, you can smell it, you can breathe it.
And you're sharing it with other people that want to experience the same thing.
Yeah. This is really a very special place. And so coming back was like coming home. So, I'm really glad I did this.